Grace is not a safety net, it's your foundation. Do you ever just feel trapped? Like you're stuck in a loop of messing up, asking God for forgiveness, and then doing the very same thing again, almost like you're expecting to fail? For so many of us, the Christian life can feel like walking a spiritual tightrope. We're trying so hard to keep our balance and walk that straight line. But if we're honest, we know we're going to slip. And so we look down, and we see grace as this big, comfortable safety net, just waiting to catch us. Now, don't get me wrong, we're thankful for it. But our focus is always on the fall. Honestly, it's exhausting, right? It leaves you feeling frustrated, spiritually stuck, and wondering, why am I not actually growing? But what if I told you that grace was never meant to be a safety net? What if it was designed to be the solid ground you build your entire life on? Stay with me, because understanding this one shift can change everything. The solution: reframing. Grace. Everything changes when we stop seeing grace as a reactive backup plan and start seeing it as God's proactive foundation for our lives. Think about building a house. You wouldn't build the walls, slap on a roof, and then think, I should probably pour a foundation, just in case an earthquake hits. That's completely backward. The foundation is the first and most critical part of the whole building. It's what gives everything else stability and strength to stand firm through any storm. In the same way, God's grace isn't something He just adds to our lives after we fail. It's the very bedrock He invites us to build on from day one. It's not about what we do. It's about what He has already done. Ephesians 2:8 says, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. It is the gift of God." Salvation isn't a reward for good performance. It's a foundational gift. This shift in perspective changes everything. It moves us from a life of desperately trying not to fall to a life of confidently building on a foundation that can never, ever be shaken. A new identity through grace. So, what's the first part of building on this foundation? It's understanding that grace gives you a brand new identity. Too often, we see ourselves as just a sinner saved by grace. And while we were once defined by sin, grace does more than just wipe the slate clean. It fundamentally changes who we are right now. We are no longer defined by our failures. 2 Corinthians 5:17 tells us, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here." Grace doesn't just patch up the old you, it makes you entirely new. Your primary identity is no longer sinner, but saint who sometimes sins, a child of God. When we build our lives on this truth, our actions start to flow from our new identity. We're not trying to become something we're not. We're learning to live out who we already are in Christ. Grace empowers us to live differently. Now, this next point tackles that safety net idea head-on. Grace actually empowers us to live righteously. There's a common fear that if grace is a free gift, it just becomes a license to sin. People think, if the net will always catch me, why try so hard to stay on the rope? But the Bible teaches the absolute opposite. Titus 2:11-12 says, "For the grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. It teaches us to say no to ungodliness and worldly passions, and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in this present age." Did you catch that? Grace teaches us. It's our instructor and our empowerment. It's the divine power that enables us to live a life that pleases God, not out of fear of punishment, but out of a transformed heart that wants to honor Him. Grace isn't a permission slip for sin, it's the power to overcome it. Grace sustains us when we're weak. Finally, let's talk about the reality that even as new creations, we're still going to struggle. We will have moments of weakness, but the purpose of grace in those moments isn't just to issue a pardon after we mess up. Its main job is to provide strength in the middle of our weakness. In 2 Corinthians 12, the Apostle Paul talks about having a thorn in his flesh. He pleaded with God to take it away. But God's response was, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. God's grace is our all-sufficient supply. It's not a one-time get-out-of-jail-free card, but a constant, moment-by-moment infusion of divine strength that meets us right where we are. It's the power that holds us up when we feel like we just can't go on. So let's be clear. Grace is not a safety net for your failures. It is the unshakable foundation for a stable, strong, and purpose-filled life in Christ. It gives you a new identity, empowers you to live righteously, and sustains you in your moments of greatest weakness. So here's a challenge for all of us this week. Let's stop looking down for the safety net and start building on the foundation beneath our feet. Here at the Open Table, we want to encourage one another. So, in the comments below, share one way this change in perspective might impact your walk with God. Let's learn together as we build our lives on the solid rock of His amazing grace.